Hello, listeners. Welcome to the next session.
An advice podcast for game masters seeking help with their next game session. I'm Adam Johns.
And I'm Allysa Johns, and I have the great pleasure of introducing our very first guest, Greg Barrett.
Hi, Greg.
Greg Barrett!
Hello. It's so good to be here. Thank you both for inviting me.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you on. You're our first guest, and we're hoping to have more guests in the future. But you're the very first one. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been playing role-playing games for many years now. I've been a DM primarily during that time. I know you through theater first and foremost. And in the last 7 years, I've been working down in Portland, running a LARP program through a summer camp. And since COVID hit, that's kind of transformed into a digital DM, digital dungeon master kind of position that I've been spearheading. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, that's me.
That's awesome.
I like the idea that you're a DDM.
A DDM.
Digital DM?
Digital DM. That should be its own.
DM.
Yeah, that should be its own title. It should be Greg Barrett, DDM.
Yeah, there you go. Commonly known title.
Yeah.
Yes, the digital dungeon master.
Well, I mean, Adam, you have all these letters after your name, and I don't know, LMF.
Greg, I think you got to add these after your name.
I guess so.
Greg Barrett, DDM. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
This is totally off.
I'm printing up the business cards now.
Yeah, perfect.
This is totally off topic, but I just found out that you can buy a cubic foot of land in Scotland, and because of an old law, if you own any land in Scotland, you can be a lord or a lady, and so you can donate essentially a cubic foot of land to a nature preservation. So you're not allowed to build or do anything with this little cubic foot of land, but you own it, and then you can become a lord or a lady. So you could be Lord Gregory Barrett, DDM.
That's pretty great. And you can also
I was adrift in the sea of life until just now. I now have a goal,
clear direction,
clear purpose. Thank you, Allysa.
It makes a pretty good Christmas present. We might be gifting it to all of our family members. So we can all be lords and ladies.
Oh my goodness.
Possible.
Oh my goodness. That's wonderful.
The whole pitch is that you get better service on airlines because you can put, Lady Johns, Lord and Lady Johns. I was like, can't you just do that? You don't are they going to check?
Apparently not. Although you can add Esquire after your name. You don't really need anything to do that.
That's
a lot of attorneys.
Anyone can be an Esquire. Huh?
Yeah, you can just
Isn't that a magazine? Esquire. Do you just hold that magazine?
You could. I believe then you get to own the magazine.
Yeah,
that's whoever the most recent Esquire.
Oh man, Esquire magazine hates this one little trick.
The one secret Esquire magazine doesn't want you to know.
Oh man. Okay. Well, wonderful. You answered all of my questions about you, but I did want to ask, do you have a favorite character or moment in a game that you wanna tell us about or highlight?
Oh, okay. Well, let's see here. I have a PC that I've played on and off that is near and dear to my heart is a dwarf rogue who is named Gav Chasmcross.
That's
epic!
A spectacular name.
but in the underworld, he's known as Dirty Paws. Dirty Paws, and he's just like straight up thief and burglar, and his whole thing is when he's not delving dungeons, he's a well-known locksmith, and he works for an artisans guild of locksmiths, and he's kind of like a medieval white hat hacker. He'll break into the vaults of the wealthy and well-to-do in the city and leave his calling card being like, you need a better security system. Otherwise, someone else other than me could have stolen your antique necklace. You can find it here. Come talk.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So fun.
Is the calling card just like a business card, or do you have like a little item you leave behind or something like that?
Oh, like the
yeah.
I had always envisioned it was just like a brass like stamped card that had the address of the guild hall of the locksmith's guild hall, and but yeah, no token or anything. He's a dwarf, so he's like, no, I want your business, so come up here. But that's why he goes and seeks out dungeons and stuff to find more dangerous traps and more complex traps.
Can't build a better security system unless you
exactly
have a way.
You gotta hone your skills.
Yeah,
exactly. He patented basically a specific glyph, stone of warding with the mind spike spell on it.
I like it.
And he calls it the deadbolt, because if a typical thief that tries to open something and the mind spike spell is cast on him, it's basically going to kill just about any commoner or low level thiefy type person. So
nice.
Anyway,
in D&D that's totally acceptable. in the world of D&D, I have a vault and I need to protect it. I have all these deadly booby traps that are in the way of my vault.
Right. Well,
this one sets you
on
fire.
And
yeah, very clear.
Your fault for triggering my trap.
I'm just protecting my property.
Yeah.
I guess with some of the what do you call it? Some of the games that I play with for the kids that I work with, because my job is running a medieval fantasy world, kind of a quasi D&D system.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an NPC that I love bringing out named Chicken the Goblin, and Chicken has a taxidermied chicken on his head. That's why he calls himself Chicken. But he's kind of like Chaos Elmo.
Chaos Elmo.
Yeah, he speaks in third person. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. He's usually the reason why the kids go on an adventure, because he's like, look, it's not Chicken's fault, okay? Chicken was just here, and there was a big shiny button, and what was Chicken gonna do? Not press it? I don't think so.
Oh my gosh! How do you handle doing that voice constantly?
I drink a lot of water.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. Oh, and also like we're dealing with potty training with our daughter right now, and she has an Elmo potty book. And
now I'm always gonna read Elmo's voice.
But he's really great because he something I found, especially with like 8 to 11-year-olds, like it. What I love to do with Chicken is he claims responsibility. Like, he'll get in trouble, they'll fight a big monster, and then maybe like after the fight's over, he'll run over and like kick the body of the thing or whatever. Or he might heal somebody like who was hurt and like do a little bit of help, but then he'll be like, Chicken saved the day. Oh, thanks to Chicken.
Oh
They're like, you didn't do this, Chicken. We saved the day. Like, nope. Chicken learned nothing. And, runs away. And they're like, oh, Chicken! So taking credit for their success as this little chaos goblin is really silly and funny.
That's
and
great.
they love him and hate him. So
yeah,
like
they
so
love
much
to
fun.
hate him. It sounds like the impulse that some of these players might have, and you are taking that impulse and channeling it into Chicken so that they don't have to go run and push the shiny button, because Chicken ran and pushed the shiny button.
Chicken will take care of that role.
Oh, wow.
True.
I like chicken learned nothing.
Chicken learned nothing. Well, we could talk to you all day, but we have some questions.
We need your help, Greg.
Yes.
Other people need our help.
Other people need some advice and some help. I'm happy to provide whatever help I can.
All right. So next session help. This first question comes from Harsh Millennium. Aw,
that's sad.
It's true.
It is a harsh millennium.
So they say the first session went well, but need your help with NPC. I ran the first session for a new online group and it went very well. The first NPC they have spent some time with, they are currently super suspicious of him, as D&D players typically are. They now expect him to betray them. I've written the NPC as being a bit shifty and having several secrets, as well as not wanting to spill his trade secrets to a band of mercenaries he's just hired. He's rounded with a personality, but the players just think it's all about them. I don't want the NPC to betray the party. I want them to get that there's more going on with him, but not that they are in danger. I've got visions of them turning murder hobo. Any ideas on how I could try and do this?
That's pretty good. That's very interesting. I definitely have had lots of players turn on an NPC like immediately thinking they're suspicious. Although sometimes it is very satisfying to just let that be the bad guy and let the players be right.
I guess so.
That can be really fun. Obviously, this Harsh Millennium doesn't want to do that, but sometimes just like saying yes to whatever it is the players. They go, I think this guy's the bad guy. And you go, yeah.
Clearly.
Good job.
Yeah, well, I'll just throw all these pages away.
You saw through my clever ruse. Good job.
Good job on you.
And then you save your real bad guy for later.
Right. You just it's back pocket.
Bad person, bad evil thing.
But if you don't want him to be the bad guy, what about having the bad guy strike at your shifty NPC first?
That was gonna be that was my first impression, was like, oh, just kill him, have someone else kill him.
Right. Like no other players to kill him.
Don't have the players kill him, have some lieutenant or bad guy that's adjacent to the real big bad strike him down. And
bad guy adjacent.
And create it in such a way that maybe there's like a cleric or someone on hand that can like bring them back if you don't want to just like dump this NPC. But having if the players heal him, well, now they're invested. They used a spell to bring him back, and maybe they'll reconsider that, like, oh, we thought you were the bad guy, but if other people are trying to kill you, kind of an enemy of my enemy is my friend mentality.
Right. I think that tends to work really well in my games, where they immediately discard the person as a bad guy if they've been clearly attacked and even just injured, even if they aren't dead, but they're just badly injured and the players have to heal them.
But that works to your advantage, because then you could, was him the whole time.
I have absolutely done that too.
He was pretending to get attacked.
Yeah, he hired those guys to attack it and injured it with the hopes that you
and that could very well be where your players go. Harsh. It might be that they're like, oh my gosh, it's wheels within wheels. He clearly hired them. Like,
and I've definitely had players fall deep down the conspiracy hole while trying like, especially when I have not intended it. Like, I'm like, oh, there's, here's the friendly shopkeep, and the friendly shopkeep goes, oh yeah, there's a big bad guy over there. Malbad. It's the big fat guy, and they'll be like, I think you're Malbad. You're secretly the big bad guy.
Well, and Harsh Millennium does say, I have visions of them turning murder hobo. I mean, that's how that starts. You go, wait a minute, everyone's the bad guy. Kill.
Yeah, that's pretty true. That would also be pretty fun to say yes to. Yes,
Yeah.
also the bad guy.
But another angle you could take it is to set up a scenario. Like, it doesn't have to be the focus necessarily, but like perhaps they are traveling with this merchant, or they go through town and see him with like with their family, or see them like at a I don't know, donating surplus gear or something to an orphanage, or some sort of like some sort of some sort of action that's like, oh wow, this, maybe maybe we got the wrong impression of this guy. Like,
so like he's an a-hole with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
yeah.
You could even have him like sneak off in the middle of the night. You wake up and he has snuck off in the middle of the night, and you follow him, and then he snuck off to give all of his excess gold to the local orphanage.
Yeah, right.
Buy them food and stuff.
I mean,
thank you, son. I was so hungry.
Yeah, maybe not lay that on so thick, but you could very easily have them like have him set up to like doing some sort of like shady deal, and they break it up, and it turns out that that was a shady deal. He was he was actually like, he's part of a kind of a what's the word,
Secret
kind
society,
of
guild.
Well, yeah, like maybe he's helping transport refugees from a neighboring conflict, and you've just like interrupted that, and now the watch is on. It's like, oh no, like he was actually, he's doing something, underhand, like not underhanded.
It's illegal,
but
baby.
Illegal,
but it's clearly for
quotes.
The good.
Yeah.
He's actually Batman.
He's making a deal to buy medicine for the kids,
right?
Starving kids in the orphanage.
Yeah.
yeah. He's there's a shipment of healing potions fell off the back of a truck, but he's purchasing them to help with a small plague that's breaking out in the poorest ward of the city, or something like that.
Oh, man.
This idea that you basically just need to flesh out the character a little bit more and let the players see that this is a good guy, really highlight that this is a good guy. That's
shifty is not his only dimension.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, the Harsh Millennium said they had several secrets and don't want to spill trade secrets and stuff, but I think like you let the players be the clever ones who discovered the trade secrets, or the things going on with this shifty character, and then they both feel like they've discovered his additional dimension, and also you've gotten a chance to show that this character is more than just shifty.
Yeah.
That's great.
I like that a lot.
Well, Harsh Millennium, I hope that helps. And let's move on to Captain Baseball.
Oh, yeah. Captain Baseball.
Captain Baseball also has some problems with NPCs. So this is an NPC.
Do you think Captain Baseball has his own baseball ship? Or is it just...
Captain of the baseball?
Baseball?
I was envisioning like a superhero with with like baseball themed powers. So
is that just Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Well, Casey Jones. Casey Jones is hockey. He's golf. He's baseball.
He had a cricket bat.
He had a cricket bat. He did. Yeah. I don't know where he got that cricket bat, because I don't know where to procure a cricket bat. I mean, they were in New York, and you can get just about anything in New York, I've heard. So.
That's pretty true.
Play it against Sports UK.
I always imagined that Casey Jones worked at a Play Against Sports, actually.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's where he acquires all of his used equipment.
Well, Captain Baseball says they're running a game for 2 players. What do you think the best way is to deal with sidekicks and NPCs to fill out the party? I am preparing to DM a 5e campaign for 2 players, and I'm trying to decide how to handle filling out their party, because they'll need a bit of help. As I see it, I have a couple of choices. I can A, let them use hirelings or sidekicks and let them control those hirelings and sidekicks. B, I can create an NPC or two. The live players control the NPCs' combat actions, but I roleplay the NPCs. C, I create the NPCs and solely run them. Are there other alternatives? I obviously have no plan for the NPCs to become any sort of focus for the adventure. That's for the live players. Any and all suggestions would be greatly appreciated.
So I've run games with just 2 players that run just fine. I don't actually think that you need NPCs to fill out the party necessarily. But I will say one of the things that I find when I run a game with 2 players is the personalities of the players need an extra personality to play off of. And that can be me as a game master. I can continue to add stuff into the world to give them extra personalities to play off of. That doesn't need to be a consistent NPC.
Right.
But that's sort of where players at the table need to have sort of those extra interactions to have, and in character as their characters need to build those extra interactions, or at least I find that's really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if you are going to be running a game with 2 players, which I've done also, it's your job as the DM to like really look at how you're crafting the scenes that they are going up against in their combats, and just make sure that you're not throwing them into a situation that they're going to get overwhelmed. And in that respect, in that regard, I understand like the concern for like, oh, well, we should have like not a healer in the party or whatever. Like I don't think that's necessary. If you are like, okay, so we got 2 people, so instead of having 4 goblins, we'll just have 2, or I'll have 4 goblins, but I'm gonna have all their hit points.
Right. Yeah, so you definitely need to mechanically be really mindful about how you're adjusting the game, right? For fitting in with just 2 players.
Well, maybe instead of having NPCs that go with them and can fill out those other roles, maybe they have like a home base, like a town they can come back to, or a tavern, or something that has their friend the healer and has their friend whoever who can send them out on missions, and they can come back and recoup and regroup. And
that's a very good point, Allysa. Or maybe they're part of an organization that has many like locales around, so they know that, oh well, we're going to go to this Emerald Enclave location, or a Harper's Safe House.
Or a secret society that's just got like a chapter in every
like the Eagles clubs or Lion clubs, or a sorority,
or the White Lotus.
Kappa Kappa Kappa.
They're part of Kappa Kappa Kappa.
Oh no, that's terrible. Kappa Kappa Beta would be better.
Oh. Yeah, I don't want to be part of the KKK.
No, terrible.
Sorority.
No. Yeesh.
Yeah, that's good.
Or like the White Lotus.
Yeah,
there you go. That's a perfect example.
Well, and then even if it is some sort of organization, they could say like, hey, we're going on this big mission. We could use an extra person. Hey, can you send an underling or an intern, or suddenly it's Acquisitions Incorporated. Like, hey, send us an intern.
We got a whole organization built in.
Right. Out of the 3 options that the writer provided, that Captain Baseball suggested, I would personally go with C, making a character, and that way I can have them come and go, or have multiple ones. Like, very rarely are adventurers in a vacuum. So like, for example, if they are I have a group of 2 that I'm running, and in one of their first adventures, there were caravans disappearing on the road, and so they went out to see what was going on, to travel, and they wound up coming across a gnomish merchant with his sea lion kin bodyguard, and they had a broken wagon wheel, and so and then the sun went down and monsters attacked them, and so I had those two as NPCs, and I had the sea lion kin bodyguard be like a fighter, and the other one be kind of a rogue, because the group I was playing with had two druids. They both wanted to be druids, so like they had some healing spells, they had the magic, they needed a meat wall and kind of some ranged support. So I was like, okay, well, for this fight, these guys will be here. And they got to, and they became kind of invested with them. And after the fight, they were like, all right, well, we got to take you, we'll help escort you to where you want to go. And I said, all right, well, if you ever find your way into this town, look us up. And I made a note like, okay, these two NPCs are in this city now. So if they go back there, or if they go to that city, now there's a fighter and a rogue that can help them out.
Well, and there's reason to go back, because you can have word reach the players that fighter has taken ill, or they need your help, and suddenly you have a side quest that they can go do if you need to fill out a session.
Yeah. So
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So having small pepper NPCs that can help your characters, help your players in the moment, and have them be big personalities that they will either get attached to or be like, I hate that guy, but man, like have a real cantankerous cleric or something. Like, he healed me, but he was such a jerk.
I also like having an NPC that is just really incompetent. As like a tag along for the players.
A Joxer the Mighty.
Yeah, we often in Game to Grow groups we often call it a Ricky character, which is a character that is just super incompetent but loves the players, loves the players' characters, and really appreciates everything they do. And I love doing that kind of NPC where, and it's honestly not too dissimilar from like Chicken, right? Where it's just an opportunity to mix things up a little bit, and it's a character that will never really steal the spotlight from the players. I've had NPCs, I've had game masters before who have their own NPCs like finish the fight or deal the big blow against the big bad guy, and that's so frustrating as a player to watch the game master basically like doing the fight on their own, or the Deus Ex Machina of like, an NPC comes in and is way more powerful than you and destroys the big dragon that you were fighting because you couldn't possibly do it. It's so disappointing.
That feels like a bait and switch, and it's never, very very rarely is it useful. Or does it feel, well, useful is not the right term. Sure, it's useful, but very rarely is it rewarding to your players. But yeah, having a Ricky character, or like I have one like that in one of my other games. One of the kids made a robotic crow named Clark, and I voiced Clark. I basically used the same voice as Nepther from Adventure Time.
Nice.
But Clark is super literal. So like the kid will like ask a question, and Clark, as Clark, I'll just ask him a question back, like for clarification, because I took him absolutely literally or what have you. It's pretty fun, but
it creates a fun dynamic that way, right? Like now you have this extra role play interaction, but like Clark never, flies in and solves the puzzle for the players when they can't figure it out.
No,
it's just a fun
role play mechanic. The characters that came to mind when you were talking about an NPC that loves the players but are very kind of dim-witted. The first thing that popped into my mind was from the movie Monsters Inc. The two characters going, "Quiet! You're gonna make him lose focus."
Oh my god! You're gonna mess it up.
You're gonna mess it all up.
Shh, be quiet, dude.
Yeah.
Just the idea that there are these characters who are they're like their biggest fans. They're like, oh man, these guys are awesome, but they're still there and they're participating, even if it's just being silly and goofy.
That actually sounds super fun to play.
Oh yeah. I want them in every campaign now. Cool. Yeah.
So my last bit of advice, I think, for old Captain Baseball, would be to not be afraid to have the monsters that their players are fighting have more self-preservation. Thank you. Yeah. So have a group of 5 monsters show up, and after the first round, if the players take out like 2 of them, or something like that, like, whoa, they take off. The rest of them are like, whoa, these guys are stronger than we thought. We're gonna bounce. And that can also make your players feel pretty awesome, pretty powerful.
And is a good way to sort of rebalance a fight if you're noticing these enemies are maybe a little too much for my 2 players to handle. I can make them run away so that the players feel victorious, and at the same time, I don't have to worry about the enemies accidentally killing them.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion.
All right. Well, I hope Captain Baseball, I hope that helps. And Cappy base, Cappy balls. No. I'm full of it today.
Yeah.
It's early. So normally we would take a break here and then and go on to Ask a GM and use that spell. But I'm wondering, should we offer Greg to?
Greg, do you want to stick around and help us with?
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Okay, awesome. So this is Ask a GM, more general question, I guess. It's pretty much another question.
Usually these are more general. They're more mechanical questions.
Yeah, more mechanical.
That kind of thing.
So this question comes from Inky 0210 or Inky 210 or Inky 0210. We'll find out. So Inky asks, anti-magic field inside Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion? There's a party going on inside of a magnificent mansion, and someone is about to cast anti-magic field in the middle of it. How would you resolve this?
That's a super interesting question.
So I had to look it up. I did not know
Mordenkainen's magnificent mansion.
Yeah, I had no idea. So because it's a 7th level conjuration, I don't think I've ever gotten anything up that high that I would have this as an option.
Yeah, well, I mean, both of these spells are high-level spells. Anti-magic field's an 8th level abjuration, and so, like, between the 2 of them, we're talking about, like, high-level play, big, high-level characters.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like Rock Meets a Hard Place, like.
Sure. Can I just say, by the way, it always seems strange to me that you use magic to cast an anti-magic field.
Oh.
Yeah, but what else would you use?
I don't know, like a herb.
Plants.
It's just a plant that does this. I just rub it on all the walls here.
You could potentially, I guess, like the flail snail has like a super magical shell that like does some spell reflection.
Oh my gosh, flail snail armor.
Yeah.
I want to draw that. Reflective. Can you imagine like big curly swirls on your shoulder pads?
Oh yeah, that would look great.
Oh man,
it's like really colorful too.
Oh man, someone who's a better drawer than me should draw the flail snail armor set. Now I'm imagining it as a Monster Hunter set because you play a lot of Monster Hunter.
Absolutely be a Monster Hunter set.
So I had to look this up. I had to look up Magnificent Mansion. So for those who don't know, it's essentially like Lehman's Tiny Hut, but a mansion. You conjure an extra dimensional dwelling in a range that lasts for the duration. Blah, de blah, de blah. It's got a magnificent foyer with numerous chambers beyond. It's clean, fresh, and warm. There's servants. There's a staff of 100 near transparent servants who attend to your needs. Like, this is a fancy ass party. I want to go to this party.
One of the really important pieces about the Magnificent Mansion is it's a pocket dimension, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you basically walk through a little doorway, and then you are in a whole new place.
Oh yeah, it's a portal.
It doesn't take up a whole mansion's worth of space in the world that you're in. You're walking through a portal that takes
extra
you to a new
dimensional
place.
space.
So that's where the anti-magic field piece becomes really complicated.
At the end of it says, when the spell ends, any creatures inside the extra dimensional space are expelled into the open spaces nearest to the entrance.
Right. So I'm looking at anti-magic field right now, and it's a 10-foot radius sphere, and it basically says this area is divorced from the magical energy that suffuses the multiverse. Within the sphere, spells can't be cast, summoned creatures disappear, and even magic items become mundane. Until the spell ends, the sphere moves with you, centered on you. And then it talks about how it affects various things. Areas of magic, spells, magic items, targeted effects, and then creatures and objects, which I would argue that Mordenkainen's Marvelous Mansion or Magnificent Mansion is an object. You're creating this extraplanar house, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
So it says a creature or object summoned or created by magic temporarily winks out of existence in the sphere. Such a creature instantly reappears once the space the creature occupied is no longer within the sphere. And since it's creating a pocket dimension, like if you were to create an anti-magic sphere that suppresses that, and based off of what you just said on what happens after the spell ends, I would probably rule that it instantly shunts you out of the mansion.
Because you and all the surroundings around you basically are no longer part of the mansion effect. So you and I guess anything that wasn't created by the spell, so like any teammates or whatever that weren't created by the mansion spell, would just get kicked out of the mansion.
Yep.
Anything that fits into the anti-magic field would basically just get you would basically go like, here's a big bubble, and then you get kicked immediately out of the mansion space.
Okay.
That's how I'd rule it.
The mansion space is bigger than the bubble, so wouldn't you just get kicked to the edges of the mansion and still be inside the mansion?
Well, no, because the bubble moves with you.
Oh.
As well.
I could also see that you create sort of a collapsing cascading effect.
Yeah, like I kind of a bag of holding with a portable hole sort of situation.
Sure, it could also just be like you create this sphere, and then the sphere winks everything out of existence inside of the sphere, and then everything else tries to move into the sphere to fill in the space that the sphere winked out of existence.
Oh, so then it just continues.
You just create sort of a black hole of collapsing effect of this entire mansion.
Yeah, I would another kind of more so the way I'd rule it, like it just automatically kicks you out of the mansion. Not very fun, but like hey, if you're trapped in the mansion by like some evil spellcaster or something, that's a pretty clever way to get out, right?
Yeah, totally.
But something that would be kind of more fun, I would consider like, okay, this anti-magic field is like basically you're pouring paint thinner on a completed picture. And so like anywhere that you move within that sphere, it's just like, it's like taking a smudged eraser to the mansion and anything like that has been manifested in it. And so it's just like
it's pretty fun. The servant tries to walk up to you with like a tray, and he's like, "Hello, sir. Would you like to blah?"
Yeah, exactly.
That's a melt in front of you.
Right. So that could be a fun way to play it also. Although not quite so mechanical, I think.
Yeah, I think
that's
right.
that's an interesting question, though.
I think the mechanics of it would dictate that you would just get pushed out. But I
Yeah.
like the idea of, especially sort of looking at what goal is the player trying to get out of the anti-magic field here. Like,
Chaos Elmo.
right? Is this just Chaos Elmo who's just trying to see what happens? In which case, I might just say, yeah, you get kicked out. Walk back in if you want to.
Yeah. I would maybe say that point, like you get kicked out, like you could marry the two. Like you get kicked out, and if you come back in, like that point that you cast a spell, everything's just like a smudged and out of focus and like made smooth and featureless.
I do like that. I could also see, this is an opportunity to create some vast chaos that now you have to also deal with the consequences of. So doing something like the collapsing black hole idea, if you're like in the middle of fighting some guys and you need to like rescue someone from here, and you go, well, I'll create an anti-magic field, and it's like, okay. And then you can play out like now everybody is being sucked into this black hole of an anti-magic field. Gets the clock to get the item that you wanted to get out of here while it's being collapsed inside or whatever.
Yeah, you could have like the first round, everybody on the end of their turn slides 5 feet closer to the center of the anti-magic field, and on the second round they slide 10 feet towards it, and if they reach the middle, then they just wink out and you don't know where they go until like and maybe they get flung to an outer plane or the astral sea or something like that. That could be really entertaining.
Sure. This is like the end of Jumanji.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Everything kind of gets pulled in.
That's totally the end of Jumanji.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of how I imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I just have the drums that do in my head. Oh, freaky.
The freaky Jumanji drums.
Yeah, okay, they do this, and then you go with it. You're like, okay, you all get winked out. Everything gets sucked in. You get winked out, and you don't know where you are. And you wake up, and you're a kid again.
Oh no! It's actual Jumanji.
Oh no!
You're sitting there with a board game in front of you.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I had no idea that casting an anti-magic shell inside of Mordenkaisen's magnificent mansion would do such a thing. That'd be funny.
That would be funny.
Yeah. Conversely, you could have I don't know, if it were me, because that sounds like a real cacophony. It would send you to pandemonium.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where I would. That's where I would.
I've also always loved the idea that all the extra dimensional spaces are actually one plane of existence, where it's just like it's the sky and it's just filled with bags that are just sticking out of like a ceiling, and they're just everywhere.
Like, so like everyone's bags of holding.
Yeah, it's everybody's bags of holding, like all so sticking out of the walls and stuff.
So you go into the in the labyrinth when she gets sucked into the like
junk space, the junk space. Yeah,
and there's a creature there that's covered in junk and going, "Rah, where's your teddy bear?"
So when you do this, it basically just tears a hole in the bag of the Mordenkainen's mansion.
Yeah,
and then you just fall into junk space.
Oh my god!
There you go.
Now it's actual Monsters Inc. because instead of doorways, you have bags of holding you could pop through.
Oh yeah,
you
like rip a
hole in the bottom, go through, wait for them to
God.
open their bag, and then suddenly you're in another fight going, "Hello," and they're like, "How did you get in here?" This is a whole campaign in of itself.
I know, that sounds hilarious. It'd be really
or what was the name of the planet that Thor wound up on Thor Ragnarok? Where the Grandmaster
the junk planet, right?
Yeah. So it could also be like that, but with upside down bags of holding, like floating at different intervals, because depending on how much stuff is in a bag of holding, and then like they're upside down, and like occasionally you'll see just a hand reach down, and then magically whatever they're trying to get like rises up into their hand and they pull it out.
Oh yeah.
That could be really a fun
So all the bags of holding just all like are one place.
Yeah, it's like a field. It's like a
It's just a
field
big field
of
full of stuff.
of hovering upside down bags of holding that like correspond to the bags in the material plane.
Yeah.
And
Suddenly
and
you're
it's just,
MacGyver. You have everything. What do you make?
Yeah.
right.
I just looked it up. Sakar is the name of the trash
There
The
you
can.
go.
car. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I didn't want some listener to be like, "You guys didn't know that it was Sakar."
It's one of my favorite Jeff Goldblum playing himself roles.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's so good.
Okay, well, I hope we answered Inky0210's question and gave them a whole field of things to work with. Greg, this has been awesome. It's been so great to have you on our podcast.
Yeah,
This was an absolute delight. Thank you both for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. And I guess we'll head to commercial.
Yeah, we're going to take a break. We're going to say goodbye to Greg, and then we'll come back. We'll use that spell and then say goodbye again. So it's a very quick. But, you got to have a break in there somewhere.
Awesome.
Right.
Thanks again, Greg.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's us again. Adam and I get asked all the time how we make our podcast, and the answer is simple. We use Anchor.
Anchor is a free creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or computer.
Then, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the places that you listen to us.
You can also make money from your podcast too, with no minimum listenership required. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place.
Make sure to download the free Anchor app, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started. And we're back.
That was a great break.
That was a great break. I
appreciate the craft services table.
Oh, you got craft services?
Yeah, there's a whole table over there.
Well, that's in your dressing room. I didn't get anything in my dressing room.
Oh, sorry. That's in my contract.
Oh man, I gotta take a look at my writer.
Yeah.
In any case, we are back, and this is we only have one segment left, so kind of a weird episode, very front loaded, and then if you come back from the break and join us, this is Use That Spell.
Ba-da-ba-ba-bow. Use that spell.
So this is a spell from Xanathar's Guide to Everything on page 163. This is called Negative Energy Flood.
Oh, you're just full of negative energy.
Oh man. Necromancy, level 5, casting time 1, action, range of 60 feet, verbal, and a broken bone and a square of black silk are the components.
It's weird that it doesn't say material components.
No, it just says verbal.
But it's clearly tells you some material components.
Maybe they forgot the M.
Maybe just whatever you copied it from didn't have the M.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Duration, instantaneous. So here is what it is. You send ribbons of negative energy at one creature you can see within range. Unless the target is undead, it must make a Constitution saving throw, taking 5d12 necrotic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. A target killed by this damage rises up as a zombie at the start of your next turn. The zombie pursues whatever creature it can see that is closest to it. Statistics for the zombie are in the monster manual. If you target an undead with this spell, the target doesn't make a saving throw. Instead, roll 5d12. The target gains half the total as temporary hit points.
Oh, so you could use this to make your zombie and then use it again on your zombie to make him more powerful.
But it's not your zombie. It's a zombie. It doesn't make it a zombie that you get to control. It's a zombie that attacks whatever it can see. That includes you.
That's pretty hilarious. So if you use this to kill somebody who's right next to you, then it just becomes a zombie of the same guy.
Can
and
you
then it starts
imagine
attacking you.
the guy, the person or creature dies, and you go, run away, and they're like, your whole party goes, why? And you're like, ah, and then it comes up as a zombie.
That's pretty great. I like that a lot. I like this because this is the opportunity to maybe have your you can name your zombie. It could be like a hilarious zombie character that
You want like a pet zombie?
yeah, or maybe just this is hey guys, this is Craig, the zombie. He's he's a little bitey. Don't get too close. I don't know. I really like the idea of this turning into like more role play with a zombie character, especially because this is a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
So like the statistics for a zombie in the monsters manual, I'm pretty sure are like a CR1 or a CR half or something like that, without looking it up. So unless it's an undead version of the same thing you just killed, which is possible, but it doesn't say that. It says specifically use the statistics for zombie.
I guess that's true. So I was imagining that if I killed a what would I kill?
A blink dog.
Okay, I kill a blink dog. Aw.
You kill a displacer beast.
Okay, displacer beast. That's much better. No dog killing. Kill a displacer beast, and that it would be a zombie of a displacer beast. But you're right. It says the statistics for the zombie are in the monster manual. So does that mean like the displacer beast dies and out of it comes a humanoid zombie?
According to this, yes. I probably wouldn't do that as a game master. I'd probably say, yeah, it's a displacer beast zombie.
But it just has the stats of...
I would use the stats of a zombie.
That would make more
character.
sense to me. Because then it could be a pet kind of a thing that you could...
You're right, though, that it clearly states that it doesn't say you control it.
No.
It's just that it becomes a zombie and starts attacking.
It pursues whatever creature it can see that is closest to it.
I think there's another spell that allows you to like dominate an undead that you could also cast after this. So you could turn it into a zombie and then cast the other spell on your next turn to like now be in control of the zombie.
Okay, or like a magical collar.
Sure, yeah. Your magical.
We are
zombie
friends, not
collar.
food.
Yeah. That's a possibility. Yeah. I like the idea though. I especially like that this is quite a bit of damage.
Well, and it's quite a lot of flavor. You send ribbons of necrotic energy, so it's wrapping up this creature Sailor Moon style and turning it into a zombie.
Oh yeah, I wonder if it could be like mummy like.
Magic power, but it's zombie magic power.
So it's just a cutscene of the guy like getting wrapped up and all the ribbons coming like pew and all the
yeah, but it has to do the Sailor Moon dance.
Sparkle explosions.
It does the little like twirl,
and the little twirl and everything like that.
The light goes up
as like this regular person turns into a zombie version of themselves.
There's a moment where you're like, I think you're naked, but you're not. Getting away with it since the 90s.
Yeah, that's spectacular. I like that a lot. This is a super interesting spell. I actually didn't know that this spell existed. I can't think of any really good creative uses for the spell. I guess maybe if there was someone far away, it has a range of 60 feet. Maybe there's somebody who's like up on a rampart and you need them to do something. And so you could kill them with this spell and then hope the zombie does whatever it is that you...
There you go.
Like I need you to push over a weight so the gate opens. Kill the guy with the spell and then like shout up at the zombie, no, push the weight. Push the weight. And the zombie's sort of wandering back and forth.
If the zombie had any agency, I suppose.
Yeah.
In my head, it's just a mindless zombie who's just going to go after whoever's closest to it. So it wouldn't really do that. But if you dominate undead along with it, then yeah, totally.
I think the hilarity of the spell really comes in as you don't have any control over this zombie, but are trying to get it to do something.
So like you run up and it's going to go after whoever's closest. So you're going to like run up and then hide behind the boulder you want it to push.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm over here. Come
and get me.
I could see running a Halloween like one shot or Halloween campaign where your evil character uses this a lot, and not only to create lots of zombies, but to heal them as well, with the effect of using it on an undead to heal them.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could also see it kind of, isn't that movie Halloween, or one of the Halloween movies where there's someone pursuing them? That's every Halloween movie.
Yeah. I don't know what you're getting at specifically.
I think the movie is called Halloween.
Yeah, and there's someone pursuing them. Wait, are they chasing after them in some way?
They're like popping up in the windows.
And then the other people are running away.
I see what you're saying here. It is like every Halloween movie. Well, I was thinking that you unwittingly used this spell and didn't realize that it created a zombie. And so suddenly there's this zombie out in the world, and it saw you first.
Oh, sure.
So now there's this zombie that is coming after you slowly. It's like that old, like, there's an evil snail and it's coming to get you, and it moves very slowly. What do?
Right.
Line my house with salt and go about my life. But this is a zombie that's coming to get. It could be a thing.
I think it's a super interesting idea. It would be fun to have this come up as like a random spell effect.
Yeah.
Like for like wild magic or something like that, and have this appear, and then you're like, whoa, I just did 5d12 damage, and then you're like, yep, but
oh no, he died, and now it's a zombie. In that case, I would make the zombie a bit more powerful.
Probably if it was a level 5, if it was characters that could cast level 5 spells, certainly I would want to. I mean, zombies just not. That's sort of why the joke is like, yeah, Carl, leave me alone, Carl. Don't bite me, Carl. Well, with that, I think we've mostly covered this spell.
I think we covered this spell a lot.
So I want to thank our special guest, Greg, for this episode.
Yes. If you are so inclined, you can follow Greg on Twitter. He is wax_stash, which is wax__stash, like wax in your mustache.
Greg has also appeared on another podcast called Geek in the City, helping to talk about a bunch of different character classes in Dungeons & Dragons on some of the episodes on that podcast. So totally give those a listen. He does that along with his wife, Lindsay.
Yes, the amazing Lindsay.
So totally give that a listen and let him know we sent you. So as our regular sign-off, we'd love to thank everybody who's listening. A reminder that you can totally contact us. You can send us your questions, and we will answer them on podcast. You can reach us by going to our website at nextsessionpodcast.com and submitting a question. Or you can hit us up on Twitter and Facebook at The Next Session.
And you feel free to rate us 5 stars.
Oh, yeah.
It actually does help get other people to see us.
Yes, tweet about the podcast. Rate us on your podcast app or whatever you use to listen to your podcast.
If you told one person to listen to us, they might do it, and then they might actually tell another person.
Yeah, but if you told 10 people, if you told 100 people to listen to us, then I would just be very impressed.
Then it's a movement.
It's the Next Session movement. So anyway, I'm Adam Johns.
And I'm Allysa Johns.
So tune in next time so that we can help you plan your next session.